Merry Christmas! And we're back.
Hello, hello.
2021.
Yes, it's a new season.
Last year, we had our All Things Christmas on Instagram.
Yes, and that was so much fun.
So good. But this year, we done moved up.
Yes.
Patty, look.
I know, look at us.
It's a whole
podcast.
Looking like this Christmas
Video.
in here.
We're in Christmas land. We're in a Hallmark movie right now.
This is a Hallmark movie.
It is.
This is like one of the shows. We could actually write a movie about this.
We should.
We should.
We should.
Okay, we should. But I am so excited because all my friends know that I am all about Christmas, all about Black Santas, all about all the things of the holiday this season. I love everything about it. Family, food, Jesus, all of it. Just in case someone wondered,
Right.
But I thought I'm a unicorn amongst my friends.
Right,
So
right.
I'm thinking, are your friends into Christmas?
They are, but not to the extent when it's like, oh, October 22nd, we get to start watching Hallmark movies, and they all tune me out. And they're like, yeah, we'll see you in January.
So you said October. See, and that's the other thing. I start watching in October. Some people are saying we're rushing Halloween, Thanksgiving, all of that. Like I start prepping in September.
Right. Oh, I start prepping for sure.
Really July, because they have
Christmas in July movies. And then when you have it DVR'd, then you can have some like throughout the year, because you just need like a Christmas pick-me-up at any time.
And we should, if anyone should understand that, we should understand that.
Right.
Because like Christmas, we can celebrate Christmas anytime.
Exactly.
I say Christmas 365.
Yeah, I'm with it. Which is why we bonded, because we found out that we're unicorns when it comes to that. We don't have to disregard or diminish any holiday.
Exactly.
But we can stand Christmas and be like, thank you, Hallmark, for having like 40 movies always.
Okay, let's talk about the progression, because now the movies are starting in October.
Yes, really.
And
that was the real date, October 22nd.
October.
This year. Mm-hmm.
But before they would have like one premiere when it first started out, because I've been watching since 2009. So when I think 2 years ago they had their 10-year anniversary.
Right.
And I started in 2009. And I was thinking like, okay, it would be like one over the weekend. But now this year, did you notice? They're like Friday.
Yes, Friday
Saturday
night.
And Sunday. Brand new ones. So I could hardly keep up this year.
Right, same. And on the other channel, because you have the main Hallmark channel where they do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then you have Hallmark Movies and Mysteries where they always do like one new weekend premiere as well, or maybe even two. So it's a lot to. We haven't watched
we're
them
behind
all.
in our
We're
homework.
behind. We've been busy. We just had training for work this week. And
everything.
Life has been a lot,
and not to mention, although we're talking about Hallmark here, there are a lot of other stations.
Right.
Lifetime, VH1, OWN, BET, TV One, Up, and many, many more, that are showing Christmas movies. Like, what is it? What do you think? Why do you think like Christmas is a big thing as it relates to movies now?
Well, I honestly feel like Hallmark set the bar. Yeah, and as much as there are people who, will roll their eyes and the thing is, we're watching Hallmark fully aware of the cheese factor and just embracing it. That's
and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
We understand. We get it.
Understand.
But I do think all these other networks are realizing this is what people want because life is challenging and life is hard. And these last 2 years, let's not even go down that road, but the last 2 years, and we just want to be able to say, this was nice. I can watch something that's not going to trigger me. It's not going to be traumatic.
Yeah.
It's going to actually have that spirit that we say we want all year round, where people are kind to each other and love each other.
It ends.
It's going to be a nice ending. There's nothing wrong with having that comfort.
Right. And I know some of you are listening and they're gritting their teeth because they're like, I cannot stand. They're so predictable. That's what I love. Yes. I love that it's predictable.
I like good surprises, but I don't need any bad surprises.
And then when I watch TV, I want to escape. So I don't want the same trauma that's happening in the world, on my TV, especially Christmas movies.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so this year, there were a lot. So we are behind in some of them. And we're going to give some shout outs to some of the ones on some of the other stations that we also watched and shared in. But we are ready. I'm telling you, I think... I was trying to think about the progression because I remember in 2009 it started, and I could look at some of the Hallmark movies and then realize that they're using the same like costumes in some of the other shows and some of the other props.
Right.
Like that reindeer and that sleigh, I've seen that in about 50 movies.
Or that peacoat is the same one.
Yeah.
It's that same shade of baby blue.
So that, and the same commercials and all of that. But now, like, Hallmark's on the come up. The commercials, they have Etsy commercials, Target, like, they are really doing it. And I've seen the progression because back in 2013, I know I wrote a blog post that really talked about the lack of diversity. Because when you think about Christmas, I think Christmas is very inclusive. You know, a lot of people, unless you're of a different religion, celebrate Christmas. It's a staple American holiday in that sense. And when all the Christmas movies that I would watch, you think back to Elf or the Santa Claus, It's a Wonderful World, White Christmas, like all of those, there was really no representation.
Right.
And I'm like, don't they know
we
like Christmas
too, right?
We like Christmas.
Yeah, regardless of
Christmas.
And even regardless of a faith tradition, for some people, this is when you slow down and you just spend time with family. And I think that's one thing that I appreciate that I understand, especially in the work we do. Like we are always looking for progress. And it's difficult though, because there is a big part of me that's like, this is not happening fast enough. Like we see a problem, we want the solution, like we need to move fast enough. We're not moving fast enough. But then when it comes to Hallmark, like they were a little late on this. Like this is not something new. It's 2021. And to be able to still be like, oh wow, like they're getting there. So can you just briefly speak to like this idea of progress and change and like the timetable, because that can really be frustrating. Like, well, that's great, they're doing it now, but why did it take this long for them to get here?
A lot of times we lack the patience to, we want things to change, but we have to realize that ships don't, if you just turn around, sometimes they'll sink. And so I think, it's just like, I think a lot of them have to have strategy.
Right.
And then it depends on who's in the room. And I can tell when the room changes versus just some ideas flying around. Yes. We can tell. We can always tell. And I can feel with Hallmark, there's some changes happening in the room.
Yes.
And I think, you're seeing that because before when we would see the Christmas movies, it would be a Christmas movie where you can tell the script wasn't probably written about us or for us. Right. But they just put some faces in
exactly.
it.
they just popped us in there.
The jokes weren't the same. The music was disconnected. It's like, we can tell that, right? We know because we're going to connect to it when just certain sayings that they would say. And I think last year there was one where everything about the movie, it was kind of like, I don't think this was like written by someone, that was a person of color. But there was this, when the guy walked outside, it was an older black man, and he walked outside and he said, ooh, the Hulk is out here. And my grandfather used to say that all the time. And I was like, that's what and right then it was like, okay, I like this. It made a connection.
He was the one who owned the Christmas tree lot.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Okay, we could play trivia. I would know none of the characters' names or the titles, but I can describe them. And so Patty is the one that knows the names of the characters and their real names, their own stage names.
I got the details. I have the notes. I got the checklist.
I have the highlights.
Right, exactly.
And that tells you a little bit about our personality. Like I can talk in circles about it, but she can give you the details about the show. But one of the things I would say is I've seen there's just this change in from just having Black people just own the show. on the movies, but also I'm seeing there's just a lot of Latinx community, Asian community, and it's not just with the Christmas movies; it's with all of the communities, even our indigenous community. So, and we're going to be speaking to it from a racial standpoint. There was a representation this year of someone who they couldn't have children, and just to bring that into the storyline, even at Christmas they did a great job,
right?
But what I want to find out from you. Okay. So there's been a lot of progression. We've seen the transformation that's happened, and we'll even talk about even what they did last year as it relates to leadership with Hallmark in a minute. But what is your favorite so far this year? Your favorite Christmas one, and why?
Okay, I don't like to choose a favorite. There's too many.
I know. You said that last year.
I did. I say that every time. Okay, but I will say, there are a few that I'm like, I'm saving this one. I'm never getting rid of it. Okay. But the first,
I do have a lot of.
I know. I do. I have some recorded.
We'll talk about it.
But I would say the first one I actually saw this season has stuck with me, and that was called "Christmas in My Heart" with Luke McFarlane, who's one of my favorites, and Heather Hemmings, and they had a lot of representation that again connects with me because it was about interracial love, and there was a biracial girl. So let me say this first because again, if you know me, I will not be your friend if you do spoilers. Okay, right. Like I want to sit and watch a movie without anyone telling me anything. I don't want you to ruin anything. But if you're listening to this podcast, spoilers are coming, so be warned. Okay, so he was a widower, but. He was married to a black woman, and they have a biracial daughter. And then there was this other story of a biracial woman who just lost her black mother, and she was a violinist. And so, that was, they end up meeting, and his daughter played the violin. But I really appreciated the representation of just the family structure, but also Cheryl Lee Ralph was the grandmother. Yeah, and there were moments I almost teared up because the daughter, the little girl, they had their grandma daughter time, and it was about doing her hair. And she said something to the effect of, well, I think my hair should be straight because it looks more professional. And, when I watch videos of violinists and people in the concerts, their hair doesn't look like mine. And just to see that moment happen, and we know, the fact that we have to have... In a Hallmark movie, okay? where she was affirming her, and you can wear your hair however. And who says that? And why would you think that's professional? Right. Who's defining that for you? And in a time where we actually have to have something called the Crown Act to protect, black women in the workplace to be able to wear our hair as it naturally comes out of our head. That was a huge step to see that on the Hallmark Channel.
And then the grandmother's mannerisms, Cheryl Lee Ralph, if you know her, she is she's big on camera, and she's very.
She has that presence.
Yes, she just has a presence, and when she made that face when she was doing the girl's hair, and then to see the little girl sleeping in a bonnet.
I'm telling you, she had a bonnet on.
I was like, I know we were in the room. We wrote that script. Just different things and how it was addressed.
And the Black Angel, that was,
She did.
I made my husband watch that one with me. I was like, look, it's our family. We can be in Hallmark.
That was one of mine too. That was one of mine. I think the other one that I like this season, and I'm not trying to say that all the ones with black people were my favorite, right? But it's the things that I connect with. Yeah, and so it makes it my favorite because there's things that I connect with. And to see the progression, and was Christmas in Harlem.
Yeah, Holiday in Harlem.
Yeah, Holiday in Harlem.
With Olivia Washington.
There you go with the details.
I got the details. I got you covered. With Olivia Washington, who you just told me is Denzel Washington's daughter.
Washington's daughter was in
I like that one too. She also had the satin scarf on. And when she went to sleep, I was like, go sis.
Exactly. and just that story of her going to see her grandmother and just what they were doing for the community. I think it showed a lot of the collectiveness in our community and how it is different when you don't come home for Christmas or you don't go to grandma's or auntie's. Like, it is kind of like this thing, like, why don't they come home? You know? And we have some of that in our family now where it's like, why such and such don't come home? Like, I want to see her, like, what's going on? Like, and so I think that was some of the that you saw in there, just about her coming home and reconnecting with her community and not being disconnected. Like, you can be successful and do the things, but still being able to connect back with your family and your community.
Absolutely.
And what I loved about that is because she's a chocolate girl. She's dark skinned.
Yes. And she's curvy.
Yes. And I love that.
She's different body types.
And she was a lead role in there. And so that was something different, because sometimes, in the movies, it can, you don't have the diversity of body types.
Right.
And then, colorism is big.
Right. Because, you can still say, well, we have quote unquote representation, but my sister likes to say the Disney approved kind.
Yes.
Like, you still you still have the same shape and can't be darker than the shade.
Right.
So to see that broadened was really great.
Because I was feeling some kind of way, because when I went this year, when the movies came out, I started looking, because I was trying to get Rakia, because I wanted,
Rakia Bernard,
and I wanted to interview her, because she had done, what's the movie?
The Christmas and Evergreen series, and then
series. I think they ended last year.
Yeah, it ended last year, but she was the lead in that one.
Yeah, she was the lead, and I like her, and I wanted to, and I like I follow her on social media, so I was following her, and I wanted to have her on. Then I looked through, and I was like, she's not in any of them, so I was feeling a little some kind of way, because she got
the chocolate skin. She got the representation.
And so I was like, okay, I feel a little better. You had Olivia Washington in there, but so I think that was one of my favorites. And then the other thing that they did, they were talking about food.
Yes.
And the kitchen is really sacred in our community, so they were talking about food, and they said it was time for her to get the mac and cheese recipe. And when we know, like, let me just tell y'all, Black folk in our community, I don't know how it is in the Latinx community. I can't speak to the Asian community, but I'm pretty sure, like, if you mess something up, I got fired. I got fired from the collard greens, and I made collard greens good, but they said that my aunt makes them better, and I got fired. And then they fired my great aunt from making the mac and cheese, because, like, they were like, it was a little too crispy. And I mean, how you gonna fire your great aunt?
You're like, let it be crispy if she wanted to be,
and make you feel bad. And so we know that cooking is just, like, sacred, and we don't play like who. The first thing is not about what's this dish right there? The first thing, who made this?
Right, exactly. Whose is this? This is auntie's or this cousin? Is this grandma? Like, whose is this? Who brought this?
Who made it? Who brought it? So they want to know all those details. But I got fired from the collards. In which I have no problem. I'm like, fire me for some more things,
right?
But I still can make the dressing, not the stuffing, but the dressing, But and I just saw that translate in this movie, and so because when you can identify with that, off screen, and then when you're watching the movie, it just makes you feel
that part really hit, because I'm not a cook, and I own that. Yeah. But mac and cheese is my responsibility in the family, and I made it for Turkey Day. And I was like, oh, see, that's me. Okay. Like, I got passed on the family recipe for mac and cheese.
And it's you can't put too many noodles. You can't put too much.
You have to have
cheese.
the good ratio.
It has to be a good ratio. Yeah, it's good.
And a little crisp, but not too crispy.
But I thought it was really good. And, it showed them as business owners and caring for their community. And I think sometimes we can show just one side a lot in our community. As it relates to movies and different things. So I love the diversity of just experience that you're seeing in those. What if you, like, because we talk about movies all the time, and I was like, sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, I could write this, so if you could write a Christmas movie for Hallmark, maybe BET, OWN. Let's say anyone, not just Hallmark. But we know Hallmark is a staple. Like, what would it be around?
I know we need to collaborate and do this for real.
I know.
That's a good question, Tasha. I think that mine was centered on this wonderful nonprofit organization that's trying to bridge.
I think that's
trying to be the bridge between different.
It would be.
That'd be a great movie.
Yes, that would be a great Christmas Christmas movie.
bridge builders and the holiday spirit.
Yes.
And
what we're doing and around the world and connecting people. Yes.
And somebody can find love too, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can do it all.
I think I should find the love though, but
I agree. Yes, for that.
Or either we're saying,
are you listening? Are you listening?
Who would play you?
I would play me.
Okay.
We would be the stars in our own film.
We would be the stars. Okay, so we want to write it.
We want to write it. We want Hallmark to like do the things like behind the scenes and stuff. But oh no, we need some fresh blood. Okay. We need some new life.
So we're not gonna say so we're gonna write a movie.
Okay.
You know,
yes.
And we're gonna play in it.
Okay.
And so I think because they need to add to.
I mean, we could let professionals do it as long as I'm an extra in there somewhere though. I want to like have that one line. We're like, it's Christmas time.
Okay.
You know?
So they had so many y'all this year.
I know.
And I'm thinking so I wanted to mention there was one called 9 Lives of Christmas, I think it was, or 9 Lives. And it was about it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago they did this one. It was about
that was like 7 years ago. Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
The lady finds a cat, or the firefighter finds a cat, and then he connects with this girl and all the things, you know. And so you see it goes off, and then they're like together. And so you think in all of these movies, you think
that they live happily ever after.
But they actually did a remake. Well, not a remake, but they did a part 2.
Yes, The 9 Kittens of Christmas. This is the one that stars Brandon Roth and Kimberly Sested. I think I said that correctly.
She plays in a lot of it.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that one right there, I thought that was neat how it's like 7 years later to kind of see what happened and to see that they didn't end up together.
Right.
But then they
they came back. Spoiler alert, they came back together. But I mean, she went and pursued her career.
Yeah.
And he was very content where he was.
Yeah.
And, you know, they tied in a lot of that. So there was a part of me that I loved that first movie. So I'm like, okay, how's this one going to be? But it was really cute.
Okay. And there was one that you had with the Asian American lead.
Oh, I love that one. That was the Boyfriends of Christmas Past, I think.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces.
Yeah, that one was really cute. It was,
okay.
I believe that, I don't have the actor's name for that one, but I believe the lead was Korean American and the female, and then the male is Indian.
Okay.
And it was really cute. Yeah. And so it was really cute. And again, like just tying in, you know, speaking language and culture, and they had a lot of focus around food too, and having a family, you know, buffet and who was going to bring what, and you know, and she got to bring the drinks because apparently she couldn't cook either. Right. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and that was great to see.
And I think they have about over 30 films, and now we're going to switch channels and go over.
Before we do though, I do want to say, just because you mentioned this, you know, just like what we come across often in our work is people think of it with like a black-white binary.
Yeah.
And it's so I also got excited to say, oh, like there's an Asian lead, not just the friend, but like an Asian lead. And even with like the interracial relationships, it's not just black and white. You know, there's, you know, Asian and white, or you know, black and Latina, you know, and so it's just I just wanted to mention that. But
they are doing that a lot, and I saw that in the one with the sisters.
Yes.
Her husband is African American. She's Asian American. Then they did a lot around adoption this year.
They
too.
did, yes.
A lot around adoption and fostering. And I would say, okay, I love the one in Holiday in Harlem, but I want to take it back because I just saw. Well, I'm not going to take it back. Yeah,
The Christmas Journey.
Is that what you're going to? Christmas Journey
with Holly Robinson Peete.
Yes, and that one was about a family who has a son who's autistic.
Right, and that's personal for her because her son RJ,
is autistic, and I think they're taking him to this like kind of like a boarding school, but they're like testing it out, and it's hard for her to let go. So you see the struggle that she's having, where a lot of her identity has been placed in her son, and she had another daughter, in which I think Holly Robinson has like 4 kids in real life, but on the show there was only 2. And I don't think this was her story. I think she played in this, but I just loved how they were bringing out like families where kids are different, you know, and how they navigate that and the struggle within the marriage of that. And there was some layers in this one because a lot of times in the Christmas movies, there's not a lot of layers.
Yeah, it doesn't go that deep, you know? Right.
But I think they had these layers of the dynamic between her and her son, the daughter feeling like she was kind of second class or second place. And so her dealing with her dynamic, and then dealing with the grandmother. They were staying at a cottage where a woman had lost her mom at Christmas time. So there were these layers where sometimes the layers where you try to bring out too much, too quick, too soon.
Right.
And I see that happen in a lot of movies where you can get lost. But I love the fact that they were dealing with some issues that I hadn't seen dealt with, especially in a holiday movie, and it was still a holiday movie.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
It was really good. And I know families who have children like that was something that they're going to connect with. So I also look at, like, maybe it's not a movie that I connect with, but then someone else may connect with it. So I had to give a shout out to Hallmark for really integrating that, and the one where the young lady, she had a foster child, and it went back with their mom. And talk about what you thought about that
so
one.
that one was interesting. That was one of the Mrs. Miracle ones, and that's also been one that's been done several times from Debbie Maycomer's books, I think.
Yes.
And so there are a lot of them, and those tend to be like very like light and like fun, and so this one was interesting because she's grieving. The mom, talks about her struggles with infertility, and they had a foster son who they thought they would adopt. And then he ended up being reunified with his mom. And so watching it now with, like, knowing people who have been in that situation. And again, like, I don't know if 5 years ago I would have thought of this. Yeah. But thinking about it through the lens of, I wonder how this is being received for those who have been in foster care or who have been adopted. And so there was just one thing I was waiting for, which was to say very clearly, like, your feelings are valid and your grief is real. And he is back with his mom. Yeah. And so I was like waiting, for that to happen. And it came. But that was just so important to acknowledge that. Why do you think it came? Because someone had to be in the room to say that. Because otherwise it was going to be fluffy and like, oh, she's sad. And then, okay, we're moving on. But let's not forget about the birth mom. Let's not forget about this little boy is now back with his mom. And that's important. So
I think that's good. And even with the one with the three sisters, one of the storylines is that all of them were adopted. Yes. And one reconnects with her biological mom, and just the kind of struggle of that. Like now, her family being angry. And I remember seeing, it was like a reality show where the guy was interested in finding his family, but his actual adoptive family they were angry at him for even attempting. They really centered themselves, and I could just feel his pain where it didn't have anything to do with them, and he loved them, and it didn't change his love for them, but it was just something he wanted to know. He needed that for himself, and the fact that they couldn't understand that, and so he stopped the search because he didn't want to, cause any tension with his mom or his brother. And that was just really sad. So to see that, and they actually displayed a little bit of that, where her sisters were angry because she didn't tell them, and, in that. So I think pulling out these real life, situations and circumstances, even around Christmas, because it's going to end well.
It's still going to end well, and it'll be a little lighthearted, but we can still talk about complexities and not act like we are not multidimensional, dynamic people.
And we can't have a Christmas podcast without mentioning a little bit of Fa La La Lifetime, or what you call what's the other one? A Wonderful Lifetime.
It's a Wonderful Lifetime and Fa La La Lifetime.
There's so many.
There are lots. It's too many to keep up with
it. And there was an article that came out where there were 45 African American leads.
Yes.
In Christmas movies this year, and so there was,
and they break down the channels and where you can find them and everything.
Exactly. And so I don't know if they have that for other ethnicities, but I was sent that one, and I thought that was just a good start because, 10 years ago, we could name it on one hand, and we're going to talk about a little bit of another one a little bit later. But when I wanted to mention the one on Lifetime, Merry Little,
yes, Christmas. The Merry Little Christmas and the Merry Little Wedding, and then this year's the Merry Little Baby.
Yes, this one was pretty good this year, and you have Kelly Rowland, and she's not singing in it; she's just acting in it, and just all the family dynamics. From her being this very successful tech head, and then getting married, and then this year's about her having a baby, and I thought that one was really cute.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna talk with Travon Potts about another one that's on VH1 a little bit later. That he actually did the score and the music for. We're going to talk about
exciting.
Christmas music, and so we're going to talk a little bit later about that. But I'm so excited. Now, we didn't mention any from the Mysteries Channel.
I know. Well, there are so many, Tasha.
I know. Okay, so if we're talking about all things Christmas, what is your favorite all-time Christmas
I can't answer that.
You don't like anything that says favorite. Okay. What do you play the most?
I know. Okay, I can say that it does not feel like the Christmas season until a Motown Christmas is on.
Okay.
It has to happen.
Is it Silent Night?
I mean, just the whole soundtrack, a Motown Christmas, got to press play, start to finish.
Right.
Jackson 5, got Diana Ross, Silent Night, all of the above. We have, Stevie doing Ave Maria.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, the Motown Christmas. And I went to see Ain't Too Proud. It's a story about a Broadway play about the Temptations, and so it was great. But I'm like, they didn't do Silent Night. I don't know all their songs, but they didn't do Silent Night, so, and I'm glad to see that some of the music, when we talk about that connection, when we start talking about inclusion, connecting some of the music in the movies.
Yes,
that's really
that's
key.
huge because it just shows that through line, not that people were just stuck out there and say, look, diversity. I think the one you mentioned, The Holiday in Harlem, the mailman had swag, walking down the street delivering mail, the opening scene with Dizzy Gillespie in the background. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Even the murals in the background, even seeing the art in the house, and you're like,
all of that. And there was one, it was I think it was, I can't remember it, Harmony.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And even in that one, I saw the wine that they were drinking. It was a
Black Girl Magic one.
Sisters,
yes. That was
Magic.
Christmas in Harmony.
Yeah, Christmas in Harmony. And they were drinking the wine. They were the family was sitting there. And, even to the placements, that's key. Where it wasn't just something, but it was and you could see it. It was prominent in the movie. So I think those are, and that was a cute one too.
Yeah,
that had Michelle Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And they were singing, and
that was good.
Luke James,
and Loretta Devine.
Loretta Devine, she is just. I think of her and Shirley Ralph that had been in this
iconic.
Yes,
absolutely. Can I just tell you how stunning you look, by the way? I was like, look, you got your little glitter, and those earrings are cute. Someone has some good taste. I'm just saying.
Actually, Patty gave me these earrings.
I did.
They're so cute. We have our Christmas colors.
I know we have to be coordinated.
You need to tell them a little bit about these earrings because they're lightweight and these are cute.
These are cute, yeah. So the earrings that we're both wearing are from a shop called Chosen and Free, and it's a Black woman-owned shop. Her name is Lena. She's based out of Minnesota. She man makes everything. And so I just, got to bring a little Christmas magic. And there are just so many things that we love about Christmas. Like, we could spend hours talking about just Hallmark alone and breaking down the movies, but there are so many things that we love. So we're going to share more about that, right, on our socials, about some of our favorite things. And
you're going to share your favorite things? I thought you don't like to say
you know what? I have to narrow it down for the purpose of the graphic.
That's why we couldn't do it on the show, because there's too many
or
things.
My favorite things, plural.
Yes,
not singular.
I had like a list of so many things, and we're like, okay, we're going to have to do that separate. So you guys have to stay tuned and watch out for a list of Patty and Tasha's favorite things.
Yes.
Some of this are things that you can get people for Christmas. Some of it's Christmas related. Some of it's not. Some of it's really lifting up some of the young entrepreneurs that are out here that are up and coming.
Are doing great work.
All of that.
Books, and just so much. So many things.
There's so much. So we're gonna have those things. So make sure you pay attention to our socials after playing this podcast.
Yes.
And so, was there anything else when we talk about all things Christmas? I mean, we didn't get to go over all of the movies because we would be here for
till next Christmas.
Hours, but,
we'd be here till next Christmas.
Take some time during the Christmas season with your families to watch. And I want to find out, what movie do you always watch at Christmas time? Like, I know a lot of people, they watch Elf, or they watch Miracle on 34th Street,
right,
or they watch the Santa Claus, or the Peanuts Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, or a Snoopy Christmas. But mine, and you think about, this is a relatively new movie. This Christmas, I love this Christmas. I love that version of I think it's Donny Hathaway's song.
Yes.
That Chris Brown does, and he does a great job with that. And when I think of this Christmas, I think of my grandmother, because that was something that was one of her favorite songs. And my mom, until recently, we had a record player that looked like a chimney, not a chimney, but like a fireplace.
Oh, right,
but it was, when you open it up, it was a record player, and she would put on her Christmas, music and, stockings, and, she would incorporate the German traditions into our family, like putting the treats in the shoes, because my grandparents lived in Germany for a little bit, because my grandfather was in the military.
Right.
So I remember all of those things.
That.
So it brings back so much, just warm feelings about my grandmother. She's no longer with us. Yeah. And just the food and all those different things. So I would say that's probably one of my my favorite songs, How about you?
Ooh, as far as movies, well, I think, again, there are so many, but I think a new one, which we did talk about last year, is Jingle Jangle. That with having 3 daughters, that is now a new staple. I was telling some of the team this week, I have this dress that every time I wear it, one of my girls says, "You look like Journey." And so for them to see that representation, and for us to watch that together, like every year going forward, that is definitely on the list.
Jingle came at the right time. Last year was such a hard year, with the pandemic and everything, and just having Jingle Jangle and just having that type of fun, full of music movie was great. So I think they need to do everything good I want a part 2.
Right, you want another one.
I want another one. Or either not another one, but something similar to it,
Right. I know. I think, I think the last thing I would want to say in general, because, again, we could say so much more, why we love these movies for a lot of reasons, but the joy and especially in the work that we do, it is a heavy load. And I know for me, I have to be intentional about pressing into joy and not feeling guilty for just relaxing, for just laughing. I'm so cognizant of what's happening in our world and our nation, and just having empathy and feeling so sad and heartbroken for things that aren't going well. But I also just want to relax and have fun and have joy. And this is such a great, easy way to do that, and to be reminded of the season, be reminded that Jesus is with us all the time, even as we go through these trials. And it's okay to smile and laugh and have joy.
Exactly. And I think it's a form of self-care. You know, for me, I look at it as a form of self-care, a little bit of escape from not so much disconnecting from reality, but just a little pause in reality. And I think that's why I like the movies. And, you know, it's like a tradition. And I think it's important, even as a single woman, to have my own traditions.
Remember the Hallmark movie we're writing?
Yes, and the Hallmark movie we're gonna write my story, right?
Yes, exactly.
But I think, you know, just having my own traditions, and a part of my tradition is Hallmark. Like, you would not believe how many people know about it, and they send me when the list comes out.
Same. I get tagged I get tagged on Facebook.
And then it's just this. Everybody talked about it, but then my mom now is watching the movies. My aunt is like, I already seen that one, you know. And so all these people are watching the Hallmark movies because, you know, we're talking about it. And so, so you guys, you know, I know, you know, everybody doesn't love. Some of you probably turned it off because as soon as we started talking about Hallmark, you're like, I do not want to hear
We still love you, though.
But we are connecting with all the women who feel like unicorns, especially women of color who feel like unicorns because they like these type of movies. But I think there's so much more to why we like them. I think it is an escape. And so now that we can see ourselves in them, that's like even a cherry on top.
Exactly.
And we were going to mention before we go, Hallmark made a change. And I don't know if we have that information.
Oh, to their CEO.
Their CEO.
Wanya Lucas, I think, CEO of Crown Media Family Networks.
And what's her name?
Wanya Lucas.
Wanya, see, I don't even gotta look her up.
Wanya Lucas. See what you're doing.
I know what she's doing. So,
those changes have to happen from the inside.
They do. And I think it's if you want to see change on the screen and you want to see system change, you do have to change the power.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's important, and you're seeing that in there. And it's not to say that you want to see all the movies where you connect to all of them, but at least let me connect to some of them. You know, I love I want to
something for everybody.
Yeah, have something for everyone. Right. And I'm glad that people are connecting in various ways to different stories. And so, they don't have to be as cookie cutter, but you know, cookie cutters come in all sizes, shapes, and colors.
That's right. That's a word.
You know? So cool. So we're gonna take us out. Black Santa can, you know, take us out. So you guys, thank you for listening. This is an annual thing talking about all things Christmas. Make sure you tune into our social media to take a look at all of our favorite things. And we're going to have some great organizations and some, you know, I even have some favorite authors and some books that you can buy for Christmas all on there. And we're going to continue this conversation because I want to talk more about Christmas music.
Yes. Have fun with that. Important. Can't wait.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Oh, man. We got the man with the master plan. You know I was going to do it. We got the one and the only. From behind the scene to in front of the scene. The fabulous, the brilliant, Mr. Travon Potts.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Nah, so you know what? Travon has been behind the scenes, but he is the one who is the man with the master plan, like I said in the beginning, who is putting the Be the Bridge podcast together. Like, he is a part of the brilliance that does the heavy lifting, and he's always behind the scenes. And he's a friend, and he's also really smart, and he does a lot of different things. And so he had the opportunity to work on a Christmas movie this year.
Yes, we did.
So I wanted to talk to him about even the creative process. We talked about a lot of things with Patty, but I wanted to talk music with you.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
But who are you, Travon?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Let the people know who you are so that they know they can put some respect on your name when they're listening to the Be the Bridge podcast.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the Be the Bridge podcast, being a producer, so producing the podcast, so which entails a lot of the recording and all of that, and so what the Be the Bridge community is hearing, a lot of that is being put together and edited and all that stuff by me. So that is a part of what I do. But I also come from the music world. That's where I am. I been playing music since a small kid, and played for church choirs and all that stuff growing up. And then I got into music, songwriting, and production. And so, some of your audience, they may know a song that I wrote, "Angel of Mine" for Monica. And have written other songs for different groups and different artists. But then moved more into the television and film space. And so working on music for different shows like, Greenleaf, BMF, Swagger, The Shy, the Whitney Houston movie, and then I was able to
do that one out there. The Whitney Houston movie. The Whitney Houston movie. The Shy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
just some little things.
Yeah, we worked on a number of different things, and so the blessing is to actually have worked on this this Christmas movie that you're speaking of, Adventures in Christmasing.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So that it was executive produced by Kim Fields.
Okay.
And but it was directed by Troy Scott.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And it was written by Rhonda Baraka. Okay. But the thing is, it was co-written in the sense that Kim Fields actually came up with this story. So she co-wrote this with Rhonda Baraka. And so that's how this story came about. But she was the executive producer, and she was the one, meaning Kim Fields, as executive producer, brought me in as the music supervisor. Okay. And so that was my role with this film. So that's amazing.
So I want to talk about that. But those of you who are listening, you probably have heard of Kim Fields. She's been in Living Single. That's the thing that those of you who are fans of that show, she was iconic. I mean, she's her comedic timing is just like is just on spot. You may, if you're old enough, you may remember her from Good Times and from The Facts of Life and all these things, and a host of other movies. And then just recently, the Upshaws. I think it's the Upshaws on Netflix.
Exactly.
Which has some great writing. The Upshaws on Netflix. And so, and we actually had the privilege of having Kim Fields on last year to talk about another Christmas movie that she was in, and just her longevity in this industry, and how she's in front of the camera, behind the camera. She's executive producer. She's writing. I mean, and she's been doing this like since childhood. Like, she's incredible. And she has to be gifted because she's still sustaining herself in this. And so I'm glad you had the opportunity to work with her and as the music supervisor, because I know you do, when you were doing Greenleaf, you did a lot of composing.
I do a lot of composing. Now
tell us the difference. Now those of us who are listening, because this is key, because we just talked about this and how this role is extremely important, especially when we're communicating through films.
Yes, exactly.
And so tell us a little bit about the difference, and I'll tell you how I know the difference.
Okay, absolutely. Well, there is a composer, and then there's a music supervisor. Okay. The composer, brilliant songwriter, is Paul Wright. So he was the composer for the film. So that's what you deal with when you're dealing with the score. Okay. So with the score with the film, like you'll hear strings in the background or things that kind of move the mood and all of that. Well, So as a music supervisor, I'm concerned about, and what I do is I find the right songs.
Okay.
So, like for instance, in this film, it was looking at different scenes and recognizing that a good song would fit in there. And so then I would do things like I would go and I would find the producers and the songwriters to come up with the songs. I would attach artists to those songs.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would do that. And then on top of that, I then have to get the songs licensed.
Oh,
so
okay.
Basically we have to license the songs from the different the songwriters and the producers that do it, or the publishing companies that own the songs, all of that. And so it was a blessing because I was able to bring a lot of wonderful artists like Jonathan McReynolds.
Okay.
What is it? Kenny Lattimore.
Okay.
Alex Isley.
Oh, wow.
And you mentioned Living Single. We actually have T.C. Carson on the soundtrack. So yeah, so it's getting a lot of different artists, and we were able to introduce some artists like Penzilla the Great, which there's an artist named Aaron and Rogelio. There are different artists that we were able to introduce, as well as some established artists, some names that you already know. And we actually not only put these songs in the film, but we actually were able to create a soundtrack album where we have the score and we have the songs all in this one piece for Adventures in Christmasing. Yeah. So that's amazing.
And it's on Spotify. And you guys, I had the opportunity to listen to the soundtrack, and it is really nice. It's really good. And my context, when I was talking to Travon before this, I was like, he was talking about, the difference between the music supervisor and the composer. And I know he's done stuff for like Greenleaf and, a lot of different shows. But my connection was another Christmas movie, The Holiday. Jack Black, I think he's like a music supervisor or either a composer in the movie.
Yeah.
And he talks about, the back end of the movie and so you see him doing that in the movie.
Yeah.
And he talks about the famous two notes that, the greatest score of all time.
Yes.
And it was da da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Like Jaws,
Yeah. What would Jaws be without that?
Exactly. But if you remove that from the movie, it's not the same. And so that's the importance of the work that you do. When I think about the Be the Bridge podcast, you can have great content, but if the sound is off, if things are not, smooth, like that can make or break. We see that even with TV shows. I was even watching a couple Hallmark movies, and they had the people singing, and it wasn't matching up, or if the music doesn't match, it just seems like, really weird. And so I'm just glad that you are behind the scenes doing this, and you've been doing this for a while. And so what have you seen? What progress have you seen? I know, is there a lot of diversity in this,
It wasn't, but it's starting to happen now. Like I mentioned, with Kim Fields being the executive producer, she's the one that hired me.
Okay.
And the composer is also African American. So the idea is that I found this like with Greenleaf, part of what they wanted is they wanted it was a church television show, so they wanted it to have an authentic black church feel in terms of the music, and so basically,
you know how to
so with a lot of the shows that I'm working with, in wanting it to feel very authentic, like for instance, in The Chi, when doing music, what I was brought in. One of the songs that I was working on is they wanted it to feel like this house music from an earlier era.
Okay.
But you'd have to be kind of familiar with, what is black house music in Chicago sound like. And the way that you do that is you have to get us to do that. And so, the more that you have black directors, black producers, black executive producers, and all of that behind the scenes, they're going and they're grabbing us, the black composers, the black music supervisors, and all of that.
They do exist.
Yeah, yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
And we understand what the music and what the feel is and how to make it authentic.
Yeah. And I think that goes to say for, if you're doing an Asian film,
yes,
it's going to be important of who's behind the scenes. It's not, I think sometimes we look at, who's on camera.
Exactly.
But sometimes there's a disconnect. If behind the scenes doesn't align with what's on camera, and we see that in script writing, I think it applies to music. Music is so key, especially to Christmas, and how we connect to the audience. But I wanted to find out from you.
Yes.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite Christmas song of all times? Or are you one of those people that you don't like to name favorites?
Oh, let's see. Probably This Christmas, Donny Hathaway. I absolutely love that song.
What do you like about it, though? Because that's my favorite, too. But you see, you're probably more technical than I am. I just like the way it feels, and it connects to history for me. Yeah. And of course, I love the song.
But believe it or not, it is not technical. You know, us as black folks, we want to feel our music. Yes. And there's something about that it just the sound and all that, it makes me I feel the yams and the collard greens, the macaroni and cheese, just with the sound and the feel, and just knowing that that's what I'm hearing in the background when I'm around family at Christmas time. So that's what it's same for me as you. It's not even technical. It's a feel. I just feel it. Yeah.
Number two for me would be Let It Snow by Boyz II Men.
Oh yeah.
Let It Snow. Yeah. And I saw they have I think one of them, they have sons and a couple daughters, but they sing in their own Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And they redid that song.
Oh, wow.
They're incredible. Like Wanye, he has kids. Like I think they're the Wanye group or something.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole bunch of, like, he got like a good group of kids. But they can sing.
Wow.
And they redid that. So, you got to go and find them on Instagram and listen to that. But I think This Christmas, Let It Snow. Yeah. And as we talk about these things, I think it's important for us, not just for people who are in this industry to seek diversity, and inclusion, like on screen, but also behind the screen, and not even just limiting you to black music. I know you were listening to jazz when I came in, and it was like, very diverse jazz, and to a point I was like, what's that? That sounds like a little Bollywood. But I know, like, you don't, even with you not putting yourself in a box, or someone not putting you in a box where, the same way, like as a author, it's not like I'm an author that happens to be black, but just referring to and put me in a section where it's just black authors, and you choose that when you're talking about that particular subject. But there's a wide variety of things that I can talk on and speak on the same way with you. So I think that's important. What do you think about that? Like having opportunities to work on other films that maybe people don't look like us in the movie.
Yeah. Well, that's important, because I had 14 years of classical training, so that's what I started off with. So it's kind of like, really honestly, when it comes to all of the music that I know and all the music that I came up with, having the opportunity to really go after it and do that in different types of settings, different types of films. It's amazing opportunity, and it's something that I love to do and can do. And it's great that Hollywood's kind of catching up to the fact that we can do all types of things.
Right.
We can do the things that are very authentic to us that we know, but also that we know those other areas as well. And so that it's a blessed time to be able to be a part of all of it and do all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we wanted to take this time to just kind of pause and introduce the Be the Bridge community to the man that's behind the scenes, as I say, the man with the master plan, Travon Potts, and bring him to the forefront, especially after I heard that you worked on this Christmas movie. Like Christmas is like my favorite thing. And then you worked on it with Kim Fields, and I interviewed her last year. And, and just all the things, the technical things that comes into producing and, and editing, all those things. And so it's just important on screen and off screen. And so we just wanted to have you on to talk to you about that. And let me tell you guys, check out this soundtrack for the Adventures in Christmasing. Check out the movie.
Yes,
it was on VH1.
Yes, it's still on. It's still running on VH1. Yes.
So check out that movie and check out the soundtrack. And I think it's on Spotify.
Yes, it's on Spotify. Was iTunes? Any of the Apple Music, Apple Music, and any of the music platforms, you will find it. Please go check it out.
But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
now
having
you guys
me.
have a face with what's happening behind the scenes on the Be the Bridge podcast. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you guys check out Adventures in Christmasing.
Yes.
And check out the work of Travon Potts on all of those shows that we've talked about. So it's important. Those things are important. So thank you so much for the work that you do.
Thank you for having me.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yes.